Yeah,
Mm.
and that's also contained in that document.
Okay,
That's included.
1875.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, and I've got another question I want to ask. If money goes into the cloud, there's no interest on that money, maybe? Nothing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are also one areas that I also feel is a bit of, maybe that will need a bit of the attention is when we go back to these communities, and especially I have really had an experience just to understand the services the Pick n Pay, the ShopRite provide when it comes to the money situation. It's quite different. The way the customer care, customer relationship, that courtesy is different from the suburbs into the community. There is quite attitude that is quite bad when it comes to local, these small communities, high density areas like Hillbrow, Tembisa, the Soweto. That is one of the limitations of these transactions are not happening many times, because there are some kind of the same facilities that they are also doing. They can send money through ShopRite. You can send money through Pick n Pay with different other companies. But the problem that is there is they'll put the same people in one queue, specifically doing different services. And then that relationship, the queues becomes too long. And when the queues becomes too long, this person is trying to rush. He's in a hurry, wants to go to report for work, and these guys, they want to go to report, especially communities like Hillbrow, everyone wants to work. They want to go to work early in the morning, and the only time they want to knock off is in the evening. And in the evening, everyone wants to go to the same area, and those ladies, they reported around 6 in the morning, and they're working maybe up to 6. They become tired, and the time they become tired, that's the time there's a long queue for the people with the money. So actually, they push the people away. If you can be in the queue and understand, they really push the people away. They have got bad attitude. They cannot help someone who cannot be able to express himself. So there's that bad attitude. And I'm looking at it that maybe in near future, there must be some negotiation to have a private agent specifically for Money 24, and that way it will be able to attract a lot of people. Yes.
Just the thing from me is that Money 24/7 machine at a certain stage of clients in an area, I think it makes it worthwhile to put down a machine.
Yeah, we put on an ATM there and so on.
Our own ATM, yeah.
Sorry, Lars, just something from my side. If you look at a product, you must always look at this competition. But what makes the competition choose your product? And we already have that here.
Yeah.
Because I have a domestic that works for me from Zimbabwe. And she sends money over with a company called Mkurukuru.
Yes.
And they take 100 Rand or 10 Rand for every 100 Rand. So if you send 2,000 Rand, that's 200 Rand. Where with this now, that eliminates it completely. The main thing for me is just to get the word out there. If we can get the word out there to tell them that, look, you're not paying that much, we're definitely going to have a bite.
Sure.
I think that will be good.
And maybe we can take that dear lady who's working at the ShopRite,
Yes.
a nice coffee and something to bite and make her happy, and she will be serving our customers much better.
I've got a question here. Let's say, for example, you want to send the money using the same information to Malawi. Malawi is using kwaches. So when you send it here in rands, how is it exchanged?
Very good question. Remember, this is a rand denominated MasterCard. So if you send this card to your Gogo in Malawi, the moment they swipe that card, the point of sale terminal will convert the rand into the local currency. Yeah. So that it happens at that stage at the same rate and so on. But this is a rand denominated, but it gets converted to the local currency.
So you can only send money to Malawi if there's a card like that in Malawi.
Yeah, that's why we say some of our clients take 2 or 3 of them. He's got one for himself, wife, 2 children. So you can give one to your child at school.
That's very great.
Yeah, and let's use just one other example. Let's say the tuck shop. The tuck shop owner, we want to sign up the tuck shop as well, because now I can transfer money directly to the tuck shop and they can release the goods right there. Let's use the example of the Spaza shop in in the rural area. He's sitting there with a lot of cash. He's got a wallet, I've got a wallet, okay? So now I need cash. Either I have to take the taxi to town, it's going to cost me money, or I go to the tuck shop and say, listen, I've got 500 Rand in my, let me transfer it to you. He can give me the 500 Rand immediately. So he gets rid of his cash in that way. Otherwise he has to take that cash, drive around with 500,000 Rand, take it to the bank, pay the bank to put it into the account. It doesn't make sense. So this is a way, and Hugo calls it an ecosystem. We recycle the money within the ecosystem, and that makes sense.
Yeah. Remember that as Kingdom Global grows, we want to have more and more services. Like the one does farming, the other one's got chicken, the other one sells petrol. And that we can rather pay our guys. If I could pay Yaku for my petrol and Elias for my meat and you for my cookies, and then the money spins between us, then obviously it's better for all of us than the system leaking. And so in moving forward, we will have more and more of that, where we will also sign up these shops where they would maybe be able to use the wallet, and we can even be paid directly into the wallet. We pay with the card and we don't need to use cash. And we keep money much more in the communities, let's say the Kingdom communities.
So you can use the same, those different cards with the same information or the same name that you sign in on the first time.
Yes.
Look, there's no name on this card.
Yeah, I'm talking of if you register on the first time, you got your card,
Yes.
and you want to have another card,
Yes.
can you use the same
Yeah.
information?
It's going to
Yeah,
look
yeah.
exactly the same, it's just got a different number. So when we let's log onto the system and have a look. So this is the web-based. So I go to login, I'll show you. Login, username and password. Then I go to my money and cards. So the moment I go to cards, if I have more than one card, can you see that card ends with 424? So that's the number of my card. Okay. So if I've got more than one card, all the cards will lie here. And if I want to load my money, then I go to my money. Okay, I was there right now. And I can say fund, withdraw, transfer, whatever the case, auto load. And this is what I explained a little bit earlier. I think my auto load is on 0 if I'm not mistaken. Let's just see what the internet is doing. Okay, can you see then my auto load? So when you capture the client, you have to ask him. Some clients want the money to go straight to the card. So then we put it on what? 0 or 100%?
100%.
100%. So the moment the money hits the bank account, it pushes 100% of the money onto the card. Mine is on 0, so I want to pay Christo and transact.
Yeah.
And if I want money on my card, I will load it onto my card. Easy as that. So that's everything that you can do via your mobile or via the internet.
Yeah. So there are some people, let's say for example, okay, you are here in South Africa, but now you want to save your money. You want to save your money for this, for example, when you are back in Malawi,
Yes.
and to have that money. Can you be able to have those different cards and just save money there, or does it maybe mature or expire, whatever? What do you think?
It doesn't expire. The money will stay on the card.
Yes.
So, but you must remember, it's in rand, and maybe the local currency fluctuates a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
So,
despite that.
but
yes.
you can save it up. You can build up 10,000 or 20,000 rand in this card, and come December they can.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's
the
powerful.
money is in the cloud.
In your virtual wallet.
The virtual wallet.
Yeah.
Whereby now, if you want to spend, for instance, maybe you know that actually when you give your, like my wife, if I give her the card, she will spend all the money. So there are times whereby you can say, there's something at home, there are issues, you can be able to run the account to say, okay, I'm going to transfer, there's a card that I left at home, I'm at work, let me transfer 1,000 rand into that account. Meaning she will not even be able to touch that money in the wallet. for
Yes,
example.
that's what I'm talking about, because I'm here, I'm using this number, South African number. When I'm in Malawi, I need to use a Malawian number. So what I need to do when I'm here, I need to transfer my money there before I go back there to save it.
So
that's
you
what
can
I'm
take
asking.
your
No.
cell phone. You can take your cell
It will be
phone.
just your phone.
Oh, okay.
Well, if he works through the app on his smartphone, no need to transfer over. You can be any place in the world.
Yeah.
Just access your app.
Look here, I'm on
And,
the internet
yeah.
now. So I can be sitting now in Malawi
And do that.
and pay Hugo sitting in South Africa, and I
Yeah.
can push money onto my card that's being used in Zimbabwe.
That's very
Or in Moscow, so it doesn't matter where you sit.
So you can send a card to a person into Pakistan as well,
Yes.
and you transfer money.
Or our friend in India.
Or in
Stop
India.
going
Yeah.
to
I know.
Western Union. What you do is you get an account, one card you put in FedEx,
Yeah.
DHL.
Yeah, we have a huge thing every month to
No,
send
and
money
we
via
give our friend
Western
in
Union to
and stuff,
India.
They have the card. Next time when there's money, you just transfer the
Yeah,
one.
because the great example was now last week I sent 500 rand to Pakistan and they charged me 100 rand. So
That's
that
right.
person just get 400 rand.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
charge
Uh,
100.
and this is for the month, 60 rand, if I'm not mistaken, on a monthly basis. for
That's
that
right,
specific
yes.
card.
And how many transactions?
Yeah.
Jaco, any questions from your side as a
Yeah,
professional?
I was thinking a lot of things because I know with the new legislation, especially with ICA, that has changed. They're quite onerous on that, and for good reason. And the big thing is especially with pertaining to money laundering. So that was my only thing that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of what a criminal would like to think like.
Yes.
I'm sitting with 3 people in Zimbabwe. I want to get money that side or wherever for the purposes of terror. I'm just saying, on who is the onus? Is it on Mercantile Bank to make sure that if money has been deposited or money that you can see here's a trend. I know when I deal with people with investments, I have to go through that whole process of applying, common sense and applying good judgment. Because here I'm just saying, what I'm seeing is it's a very easy way of actually getting money to Egypt for ISIS, for instance. So I'm asking that facilitation, is that onus on Mercantile Bank? Because that is I think that is quite a key issue in terms of.
Very good question. Money 24/7 is also an accountable institution, so we also have to report that 25,000 rand cash per day. That's the current limits. And also bear in mind, the small amounts, governments are not worried about the small amounts.
Yes.
You can send via one of these other banks, e-wallet,
Yeah.
3,000 rand. You don't even know who's the other person. You send it, they get a pin, they go and they take out the money. So, those are the amounts that we deal with. Once we get to the larger amounts, obviously it's being reported via FICA. So that everything is legit, everything is according to the rules.
And I was also thinking in terms of, for instance, I know it has been an issue, the whole thing about the funeral. You get people in Zimbabwe, the person dies here. I saw there that the beneficiary has to be verified, either by a phone call or they must write some sort of letter so that you get confirmation. I understand that the problem in the past was always the payout, because now you have a gogo, the son has died here in South Africa, they're going to take him that side, repatriate. How does one work? Will one then will you at that stage create for this gogo, for instance, because she now, how it works out as well, that makes more sense to have then a card for that person, because at the end of the day they'll have to furnish the money for that account. So that was my question, because I know the practicalities. I know there was even legislation between South Africa and Zimbabwe trying to alleviate this whole situation, especially in terms of repatriation. How do they work? Do they work in dollars or do they work in rands? So in terms of paying the payout, the physical payout, I know has been a huge headache for insurance companies in the past. So I can understand if a person that side has a card, that alleviates the problem. But what if that beneficiary does not? Can one, I'm just thinking out of the box, will one then create a 24/7 account for that person? Sitting there, I don't know, how does that?
Yeah, that is a possibility. I used to work for a company operating in that specific market for more than 24 years. And what we typically did was, the client goes to one of the offices and claim it there. Or we partner with one of our retail partners and say, okay, we send the money to ShopRite Checkers, they have to identify, and the claim gets paid at one of our retail partners there. So that's another way to get the money there. Because in your rural areas you do not have all the big banks and the big infrastructures. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking because I know logistically
You have to get the money to the
person is now-
beneficiary.
the beneficiaries are
Yes.
sitting in Zimbabwe.
Yeah,
They now have to physically get the money.
yes. Yeah.
And that creates a problem because the person doesn't have a bank account here. How do you do that? What do they do? Must they come here now? What does that entail?
So the
Yes.
world is also moving towards prepaid and disposable cards. I think you've noticed that. You can buy an Amazon card now, and I can load it with $2,000 and I can give it to you guys as a present.
Mm.
So that's also something that we are looking at, is a prepaid disposable card. I can load card on you and I can give it to you and you can go and do with it whatever you like. So you can use it then for the funeral benefits or whatever you would like to use. So that is the next phase that we are moving towards. Kind of disposable, so if the money is finished, you just chuck it away. So that's a way to...
And just Asif's question as well, I know I deal with some of the missionaries, they sit in Indonesia or whatever. In terms, I know that, it's a rand denominated thing, you swipe it. I'm just asking, I know sometimes also those fees when you swipe, they can be excessive in terms of the conversion.
Yes.
I always, because I do these things on a monthly basis for the missionaries, they say, do we pay it here
Yeah.
or do they pay it there?
Yeah.
And I always say,